fine. Let's try this all over again. This is Taiwan. This is the storm that's heading towards China now.
All right, howdy folks, welcome back. I told you I would be back. Let's get that song stopped there.
All right, there was Taiwan right there getting hit with the Typhoon. All right, and then we got that thing heading towards China with the Three Gorges Dam. Well, on the brink right now. So, howdy, folks, welcome back. I told you I would be back. Here we are, July 25th, 2024. We got the loop going here. Let me get this started and loaded up. While we're doing that, I'll take a moment here to thank all of you for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Some little adjustment here. Tripod slipped or something here. Oh, well, good enough. So again, July 25th, 2024. You guys ready? Here we go. I'm gonna scoot it over a little bit so we can see more of that. All right, there you go. You see this thing come out and like do a U-turn, stop, and kind of come back in a little bit, coming out right there. Okay, we'll take a peek at that one. Plus, there's this one over on this side. At the same time, this one's doing its thing. We got that one doing something similar. Okay. Now, this event right here, going frame by frame doesn't really do it justice. But what I'm going to do is speed it up a little bit because that's the motion there. You'll see. Now we'll just zoom in on that moving event. Okay, NASA, explain that one to me. Explain that one to the public. Yeah, you can't. As you can see, we have a little black round spheroid object, comes out, it interacts with the sun, it comes out with the CME, does a stop, goes in a little bit, and then the next CME hits it and takes it on out. Okay, you see that big full halo one, take it on out. There it goes. Okay. So I'll let that play for a second. And this one's doing its weird little thing. When it first comes out here, it's totally circular, perfectly round and stuff. So there's that event. All right. These black round spheroid objects that are interacting with the sun. I want to see anybody else try to explain this with their regular, normal astrophysics science explanation. You can't. Unless you admit there's other stellar bodies in our solar system that interact with the sun. Boom, right there. And this one over here. Okay. All right, let's pause it and go through it frame by frame here real quick. Catch the opening frame. Quit watching so much news. It gets you guys all worked up in anxiety and gets you anxious. This should not make you anxious. This is all biblical signs in the sun. All right, here we go. Opening frame 024. And as we go here, you see this little halo event right here already. Boom. We had that weird little shape thing that we saw last night. Here comes one flying out or flying by. Something down here. These guys streaking through. And then coming up here, right, you see this one sneaking out too. Then we have this event right here. And this one happened at the same time, but I wanted to capture right there's good. right there. Here, let's just go in all the way on it. Okay, nice, perfectly round object right there. It's got its little magnetic field or whatever. You see the plasma that's taken with it, starting to induce a CME right there. You can come over here to this instrument and play around with it and zoom in on stuff. And meanwhile, we have this event going on over here. You can see right out here something here, round and spherical, right out front, right there. In fact, we can go zoom in on that just a tad better. Whoops. Sorry, Mike. All right, there it goes. If we darken this a tad bit. Seems that there's something round right there draped in plasma. Okay. Making a little indentation here on the instrument too. See how this part sticks out? There it goes back in a little bit. So possibly right there, hard to tell. Some of these are a little ghostly and faint and hard to see. Okay, let's proceed. Boom, boom, boom. All right, here's our object right here. It comes out, it's sitting right, moves out a little bit, and then it stops right about there. And you can see this plasma dam building up right in front of it right there. Okay, this plasma building up on the front edge of it. So here's your object right here. It came out, stopped, and starts to come back, and plasma hits the front side of it as it starts to move back towards it. Meanwhile, you can see our circular object over here on this side. Okay, so they're both happening at the same time there. Kind of like the politicians' right hand, left hand. There's two things going on at once, but they want you to look at this over here, the misdirection, and while they do something over there. Yeah, that's what's going on right now. And if you want to know what's going on in the other hand, I'll spell it out for you. It's plain to see. If you have eyes to see. For most people, they can't see it. And we'll discuss that in the spiritual report tonight. Meanwhile, this object, moving on out, bing, boom, boom, going through these frames. You see plasma coming out and roiling and wrapping around this thing. This one over here. And they both kind of move on out, and that was it. That was the last frame. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that back into motion. Slide this over a little bit better. All right, let that sit there for a second and let you guys absorb what's going on right there. Okay, it's more than the CME. Okay, there's obviously some round spherical type object that ejects with the CME, stops, changes direction, and starts to head back in, right? Doesn't go all the way back in, but we do see a stopping and change of momentum, all right? Maybe it hits a magnetic field line or something, a boundary where it can't go any further. The next CME hits it and then takes it off. So all different kinds of, like a magnetic lock, and then the next one kind of rips it out of there. It could be, intelligently controlled. Well, we know it's intelligently controlled. Okay. Anyway, there is your activity right there. Pretty crazy today. And I'd love to see, anybody in the solar reporting community or NASA address this. Be like, okay, what was that? You know, they'll say, "Oh, well, look at that the full halo." Yeah, we'll look at that part and pay attention to all the CME coming our way. But yeah, what happened there? What you missed that? How could you miss that? How could you miss something just slamming on the brakes, turning around like that? I don't know. Anyways, there you go. I'll report on it. I know what's going on out there. All right, let's move on. Let's get on over here to our solar ham because we got a lot to report tonight. Starting off with our solar flux indice, it's at 167. It's down 8 points, so it's declining. That's good. Okay, our sunspot number's up 11 points. We're up to a 171 right now. So heading back up almost towards 200 again. Area's way down now. Just a quick peek here. I want you guys to see 3762. Okay, this is the big bad boy right here that's center disk right now. So that's not a good thing. Everybody pray this thing doesn't fire off right at us right now. Meanwhile, it's these regions over here that are just coming off the limb. Well, starting to, round the front of the disc now, and you can see some of these configurations they could possibly intensify as we go. But other than that, 3751 kind of cleared the limb now, so we're free of that thing finally. Okay, now moving on. Our 3-day geomagnetic forecast. They're calling for a G1 on the 27th. Okay, everybody, here we go again with another round of geomagnetic storm. Okay, don't be surprised if it's a little bit stronger than G1. We're not surprised here at this channel because a lot of these things are enhanced by the object itself that caused the CME. The bigger ones retain a lot of radiation, and they themselves create their own geomagnetic enhancement of a regular storm. Okay, that's why it's no surprise here if a G1 comes in and hits us as a G4, and everybody goes, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" Okay, but I pray that doesn't happen. Lately, it's been pretty accurate, and I will take G1. I'd much rather have G1 than anything bigger. Okay, we do not need any more energy absorbing into the earth. It's already at a capacity that's just getting alarming now. Meanwhile, X flare potential 10%, M flare 60. Our two M flares today, 3.0 and a 3.6. There's that little guy. And then we already have this event going on here. Sorry I didn't zoom in today. I'm just kind of blasting through this. We do have this event right here. Interesting looking. Would you like to take a peek at it? No? You don't? You don't want to take a peek into the future and see what this big old thing right here is, huh? Well, tough. We're going to do it anyway. Tough. We're going to do it anyway. All right, there you go. This little thing right here. Not much to see. Sometimes you get this big old spike and you're like, oh man, let's see what it is. And then other times it's just a little frog bump or something, and you come over and it's this huge thing or whatever. The other night we did that and there was a big discovery. So, but this is an odd shape looking CME. I'm going to do something real quick here. Okay, opening frame, yep. Let's just march through this one real quick. I wanted to see something. It starts out up there. There's a quick one right there. Huh. It's in the same region we just had the other object do that little maneuver thing. All right, well, there's your little thing already going into tomorrow. All right, now what we need to talk about here is our geomagnetic. We just a little while ago there was some red in here, so we did have a KP, a little event here. Our KP is at 4 right now, and so it was a little higher. I did see some yellow and orange growing in there not too long ago, and let's just see. No, there's no more left there, but so we did have a little event here hit us, okay? So we absorbed some more energy down to the core that'll relate back into volcano and earthquake activity. The pressure down below reaching outward towards the surface. Meanwhile, we got 62 is stable. It's beta gamma delta, but it's stable, so that's good. This other one, 51, that one's off, going off the limb anyways and leaving. It's 61 and 62 that we're kind of watching closely. Meanwhile, we have, open up the tracker here because I know we have another event coming here. Oh, never mind. No, they're not showing anything hitting Earth. It's hitting stereo A. Never mind. And there's this one. There's stereo A. So, all right, nothing they're tracking right now. The BZ component of the interplanetary magnetic IMF field is currently tipped south, minus 12. Okay, the solar wind speed is also at elevated levels following an apparent CME passage earlier today and is nearing 500 kilometers per second. Enhanced geomagnetic activity, the KP4, will be possible in the hours ahead. The minor G1 geomagnetic storming may be possible should the BZ IMF component remain in a south pointing orientation. Okay. This was unexpected thing. Okay. The major far side event that produced the bright CME a few days ago was estimated to be approximately an X14. Okay, everybody heard about that X14, I'm sure, already all day today. Clearly the strongest flare of the cycle. Okay, good thing that thing wasn't facing us. This data was provided by the solar orbiter. Okay, which was okay. Well, you know it's developed. It was in the region though. The trajectory of the CME and the heliospheric imagery, the old sunspot region 3738 would seem like the most likely source. Okay, we should begin to see this region reappear by the middle of next week, July 31st. Okay, so big time X flare off the back, and we probably the big object or one of them. Sometimes they come at different angles and, blasts go different directions. I've shown you on the tracker what I mean by that. A blast will go one direction, but the object's actually coming towards us or, going past us on a different trajectory. If we had stereo A out where it used to be, I could do a quick triangulation on it and give you a decent trajectory as to where it was going. Now, back to this, the CME impact. The CME struck Earth today, July 25th at 1422 UT. We're not sure, but this could be the Halo CME launched toward Earth by a dark plasma eruption on the 21st. Dark plasma eruption. Can't wait to see this one. Oh, this off the major far side solar flare. Oh, okay, never mind. This is okay. This dark plasma eruption on July 21st. I see what they're talking about. They're talking about this part right there. Okay, because it's it's just not illuminated and on fire anymore, and compared to the sun behind it, it turns dark. But that would be facing us, and that was supposed to hit on the 24th. They think it was late, but this could be the HALO CME launched towards Earth dark plasma on July 21st. The G1 class geomagnetic storms are possible in the hours ahead. Okay, so the major far side solar flare, the biggest flare of solar cycle 25, just exploded from the far side of the sun. X-ray detectors on Europe's solar orbiter registered X14. Before we get, it was exposed. Was on the far side of the sun when the explosion occurred on the 23rd. Okay, you can come through here and read the rest of this. What I wanted to talk about is so this is it surprised everybody. I thought it was going to hit on the 24th, and they think it was a day late, right? It could be this dark plasma one, but today was the 25th, and what I want to do over here is go back 3 days from the 25th, which would be the 22nd. You know why I want to do that? That's why. One more time. That. See, this CME that came off of this didn't head towards us, but the object itself seems to be heading kind of, well, low and left of the satellite. It's coming like maybe it's your left knee. If you were standing up in front of your screen, that thing would be coming down at your left knee. All right, but this thing brings radiation with it. Not the CME may have gone this way. Here, let me give you an angle reference here. It may have gone back that direction, but the object is coming actually at a V shape out of the screen towards us. Let me show you again. The object's trajectory is not necessarily the way the direction of the CME. Okay, so that object could have come close and sparked our G1 geomagnetic storm, or it could be from their dark plasma, which supposedly doesn't exist. But there it does in the article. So pretty cool stuff, though. G1 class geomagnetic storm is possible in the next hours. Why? Well, I just showed you why. And there's all this. Now, let's get on over to the Schumann. And what do we have here? This does not look like a grinding event. It does not fit the grinding event structure. It's just too sudden, too sharp, too all of a sudden. Happens to be at the same time we had our geomagnetic storm. Happens to be about the same time this object would have passed. See what I'm saying? That object came close. We interacted with it geomagnetically, and it messed with our Schumann resonance. This is not the core grinding. This is that thing interfering with our ionosphere. Okay, these echoes emit from the surface from the ground, and they go up out into space. Except they can't get all the way out into space. They hit the ionosphere. It's an electromagnetically charged shell around the Earth. And they hit the ionosphere and bounce back down, right, as echoes. And that's how we get our readings. This is a grinding event. This is a grinding event. But that is interference, electromagnetic interference from our passing object. I'm willing to bet my shoe on it. Okay, I only got one shoe anyway, so might as well walk around barefoot. But right there. Now, when this hit, do you see how intense it is? You see all these frequencies. It probably went way off the page. If we have, this goes up to 40 hertz right here. Okay, if you stack another, chart underneath it that went down to 80 hertz, it'd go down to this ugly guy right here. and be at the bottom of this box. This spike probably reached down into that region. I mean, not like that region, but went down like around her dress level or whatever, if there were another chart below it. Okay. So that's a very intense spike. That's a lot of frequencies very intensely. Now, let me give you like an idea, a reference. Imagine if you tuned in every station on your radio in your car, okay? Every AM station, every FM station are all playing at the same time, okay? And they're all warbled and jumbled together. You can't pick one out from another. It's just all this, just a bunch of sound interacting together. All right, so you got all these things that are already, annoying and warbly, and then somebody comes and turns the volume way up. Okay, now it's just super intense too. Imagine if some, let's say, stereo expert put a subwoofer and a 500-watt amp with 15 mid ranges, and you got all kinds of power behind your sound system. And then we did the same thing. We played every radio station on your car, and then we cranked it up and blew out the windows in your car. Guys feeling pretty agitated, irritated. A lot of people felt energized today. I know I was the walking dead when I got up this morning. I could not move. And I was all over town today, just taking care of business, like it was no problem. So some people it energizes, other people it doesn't. But this looks to be a different kind of reading. This is more like an interaction with our bigger magnetic field produced by a bigger object. Its magnetic field, its radiation, whatever it's emitting, well, electromagnetic radiation is what it's emitting, and then it hits our ionosphere and shoots a reading back to the instrument that something got fried, not fried, but just really intense. Okay. But you see these other grinding sessions right here and right here. We had good continuity. There was a little weakness, back to normal, little weakness right here. We go to back to normal, and then we start to build pressure. It tapers off. We go back to normal. We would have stayed normal if we hadn't had this. And then if you look, it ends pretty abruptly. All right, so I don't think we had a big old earthquake or eruption that would, cause that big of an abrupt stop. That's like it going by, bzzz, interacting with our magnetic field, almost like if, say, a spark jumped from one object to the other, zzz, until it got out of range, and then that spark stopped. That's kind of what you're looking at there. And then we built up pressure after it, okay? And came out of that a little bit. Now, big mouthful. This messed with people, messed with animals. It messed with a lot of people, well, emotions, your joints, pain, all kinds of stuff. That was a pretty gnarly session today. Very gnarly session. If you only knew. I can't even say it. You wouldn't believe it anyway. Well, kind of like this. This is kind of unbelievable too. This hurricane, this typhoon, is now made landfall in China. Okay. What I want to do here. Okay, before we do this report, I'm going to come over here to Venture Sky here. I got Venture Sky pulled up here, please, Lord. Thank you. And I had it on the radar here, Lord. Why is it not doing it? Weird reload on it. There we go. Now, here we are at China with Typhoon jamming me. You know what? I do not need a solicitation, an ad for trying to zoom in on a page. Okay. Whew. Just pull back real quick. Taiwan, where'd it go? Oh, right here. All right, still kind of buried in the outer bands of the storm. The eye is more right around here. Okay, so it has jumped it made it across the that strait right there and made landfall. Right. So now, as we're looking at it, and you see this little white oval here, that's their projected path. All right, last night it had a very long defined one, exactly, where it was going to go. Now it's a much shorter forecast. Let's say the other forecast was maybe 48 hours. They've shortened it down. Anyways, the trajectory of the eye, or the main part of the storm, the energy, is in this white box right here, right? And that white box happens to be kind of pointing at Wuhan. See, here's Wuhan right here. Come on, I just wanted this name of the town bigger. There it goes. Now it lights up. All right, so there's Wuhan, and here's the path right here, okay? Oh, boy, here we go. Upstream from Wuhan is the Three Gorges Dam. Okay? As I back out, where is this thing pointing at? All right, let's go right there. Put it just like that. Here's the Three Gorges Dam, right where my pointer is. Yeah, it's going to go right in between Wuhan and the Three Gorges Dam. That area right there that they're concerned about, the flooding and everything, the storm's going right in between them. I mean, it couldn't have been a more accurate strike, really. I mean, it's like, okay, and that'll definitely, it's already just moments away from hitting Wuhan. You see these outer bands right here coming around. It's about to hit Wuhan. And then I showed you all the flooding that it did to Taiwan in the opening. For the last week, we've been looking at all the flooding that's been going on in China. Now, when you add this new flooding to the broken dams and lakes that are draining above it that are heading towards the dam, add this on top of it, and yeah, everybody brace. We're gonna hear about some devastation here that's gonna be very concerning. It might mess up that country for a while now. Pray for those people. It's not the people's fault, it's their leadership. If only they had the courage to remove their leadership. Well, if only we did too, But there's Wuhan. Let me repeat. There's Wuhan, and there's the dam right here. Whoops, come here. Right here. It's going right in between them. And it's just moments away from happening right now, okay? So, here we go. There's your gnarly Typhoon gonna just mess them up. And then something that we really need to talk about here. Okay, so we're right here. I wanted to talk about, no. You cannot keep doing political ads when I'm trying to access the tool. You criminals are too greedy. You cannot run a political ad because I want to change the wind current. Ridiculous. Now, particulates. Sandstorm, please. Thank you, Lord. the greed of man is just, it's atrocious. It's absolutely vile and disgusting to sell their kids for a profit. All right, huge sandstorm coming off the Pacific. All right, it's been disrupting hurricane production during this conveyor belt type event. All right, so I've been reporting on that for a while. What I want to tell you is they have the conveyor belt structure too, right? But no sandstorms. Yeah, there's no sandstorms in front of theirs to diffuse it. You might get a little bit from this getting swirled up in there, but the main feed that's coming over here doesn't have a bunch of sand in it. So maybe we're blessed and somebody not. See what I'm saying? That sand has been saving our butts, and they don't have that to save their butts. And hopefully they're going to get some pulled off of this. But look, it doesn't do the same effect here because they still got a pretty decent storm there. All right, so the sandstorm can be a saving grace. See what I'm saying? Meanwhile, we got big plumes coming off the Horn of Africa, Saudi Arabia. They're all getting pulled up in this southern fetch right here. Okay, that's doing a 180 and going back. So it's pulling sand off there, going across the Indian Ocean, hitting India. Meanwhile, we got this one up in the Gobi Desert. This vortex is sucking sand clear up into like up into Russia up there. Okay. It looks like it's actually come up through the country, circled, and then come back out now. Or maybe it's a little bit torn away from that. Yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah, it looks like someone just came off of that. But you can see it goes up through the Gulf. Here's a decent plume right now, just making landfall. So that'll spread out. It'll follow this wind pattern right up like that. So you might see some hazy skies up in there. Okay. But the sand is quelling the convection activity that produces our hurricanes. So no hurricane genesis there, but with our thermal anomalies directing this conveyor belt, they're not going to be so fortunate over here. So, and don't be surprised if this isn't just the first round. There might be another one and another one. Like the conveyor belt might happen here. All right, now let's get over to, we got to do SO2 real quick here because, oh, the wind took it off. Let's go over to America. I'll start here first. Now it's looking more like divided like this. Tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and you can see this side's all, you know, patchy right here. We got some flooding, and then this side over here is all filling in. All right, so new angle on things. Just real quick, we got intense plume up here above the Great Lakes right there. Patchiness down here probably because of flooding or blocking up the pores of the ground. Oh, excuse me. Meanwhile, up here in Canada, we got this spread out patchiness here. And then let me turn on the fires real quick. Because up here in Canada, see how our plumes have reduced and there's not as many fires up here in Canada? But as we come down now, here we are in Oregon, and there's a big plume here with a bunch of fires. So a lot of our activity that was up north being shunted south here in this region right there. We also got this plume right here coming out of, oh shit. That's right above California, right there at the California-Oregon border, Mount Hood area, probably. We'll get to that here in a few, the earthquake report. But as you can see, the gas coming out of the ground is so hot that it sparks fires. Fires started from underground, not from directed energy weapons like they love to make you think that. And then you'd be like, oh my God, they can set me on fire from space. You better be fearful. All right, meanwhile, down here we got our fulcrum point looking nice and defined. Indicator that we got some decent pressure going on in the region right there. Same with this down in here, pretty dark. Okay, I want to come over here and stop up it away real quick. All right, still kind of same activity there. That's good. Let's come on over to, I've got to adjust for their time. All right, here we go. So here's China. Still very concentrated amounts coming out of the ground right there. A lot of pressure underneath that area. I don't have like a lot of fault structure system or whatever for the for energy to release in earthquake form, but the ground there is very porous. It has like a lot of like little tunnels and waterways, and just it's very loose structured ground. Very porous. All right, and a lot of the gas comes out of this region because that's the best way. That's the easiest way for the pressure to vent in that area. And it's SO2. It's not a good thing to be breathing either. It's a poisonous gas. Okay. But it's gas surrounds magma down below. Indication of pressure. We come in here to Java, take a little peek. See that it's not the whole island, mainly these two spots up north here. Most of the island kind of still emitting stuff, but look at Sumatra kind of filling in. The tip of Malaysia here is filled in. Very intense pocket right there. Then you got India's issues, Saudi Arabia, all of Europe. Okay. Southern Africa. All right. Enough of that. What was that? Oh. Just real quick. So we just did SO2. We're gonna do some CO2 real quick. I'll talk to you about some CO2. Right, good. Okay, different color map. Let me just show you real quick. Dark brown is less CO2. Blue is a lot of CO2. Okay. And as we kind of go around, look around. For instance, let's take a peek at America. Brown being less CO2. Blue being a lot. There's one spot down here that's kind of bluish, down by LA, okay? But all in all, there's a little bit up here, okay? A little bit of CO2 emissions up here. Okay, so there's a little bit there. Go back to their time. Oh, wow. Their emissions have cut way back. Because they used to have blue dots all over the place. Half their country was blue. And looky there. Not a lot of CO2 coming out of there. Anyways, I was going to point out is plant food. Okay. Not a lot of CO2 down there in this rainforest jungle because the plants are eating it all. Same with over here in Brazil. There's not a lot of CO2 there because the plants are eating all. They produce oxygen. We don't need to cut off our CO2 emissions because we'll cut off our oxygen. All right, moving over to the Goshen. Let's do this. All right. Same type of size and structure. We had this little pod right here. Now it's filling in between there was a red gap in between this yellow and this yellow pod right here. Now it's starting to fill in. Pretty soon, at the rate we're going, this is going to be all one big yellow thing here pretty soon. Right. It was unusually high UV too. I'm assuming because of the flares. The high UV is because of our magnetic field isn't protecting as well. The core and the shell, when they're grinding like that, it's not producing a very vibrant, glowing, strong field. So, and it lets a lot more ultraviolet, infrared radiation as well. So it could be cold temperature and not even hot air temperature, but you're still kind of cooking because of the infrared. Wonderful stuff. Okay, here this is kind of gone down in color. This was all yellow and stuff in that region. It looks to have tapered, or not tapered off, but reduced a little bit, at least in intensity. The size and structure of it's still there. Meanwhile, look at this. This whole area, this was Tamumasi. It's connected up to the Japan thing, and we have this one big, huge plume out there. All right, we got stuff going on up at the, what the? This is the top of the planet. You understand that, right? Look at this. All of above Sweden, Norway, Siberia. Look at all that. What? That all filled in quick. We can't do the inland seas because they're landlocked. The temperatures can change pretty quick there. Look at the Hudson Bay is almost all filled in now. There's one last little cold patch right here holding out. That cold patch is gone. This one's starting to recede too. Okay, here we go with the wind. I'll leave it right there for a second so you can see we got an inside loop right here and an outside conveyor going like that a little bit. This thing has really kind of torn away a new little flow up here. See how it peels away? It kind of separates to go around this. It's cold water right here, hot right here, so it's pulling it and then making flow. Flow asymmetries are heading towards like Scotland, England, Ireland. They split up right there at Spain. Look at that. How they split and then go right down the coast down to Africa. So that point right there is where the winds are changing, where the storms will split. Almost you could see how the land was structured by this type of activity over years. So we've had this type of event before. All right, so there's your conveyor belt type structure here. Thankfully, sand is disrupting it, or else we would have like 8 to 10 hurricanes equally spaced riding the conveyor belt, actually gaining strength as they come off and go across the North Atlantic. Growing up there, not growing down here. Okay, so sand down here is protecting us. Pretty soon, guess what? When it starts heading this way, no sand. So they're going to be in trouble. Let's do it. Let the wind play on this side. Our conveyor belt structure kind of changed a little bit. You do see the pinch off, isolated vortex right here. Still causing a good, conveyor belt type thing. But what's going on here is it comes up to the coast. Usually weather used to come in off the Pacific and go across the country like this. That was our typical flow. All the time, weather went from west to east, right? Well, now it comes down, hits the coast, turns around, and goes back out. making for beautiful weather for this area. Hot weather, beautiful clear skies and stuff. But this other flow is drawing moist, hot air up into the middle part. Excuse me. How embarrassing. Forgive me. All right. We got this flow that's going up from the Gulf, taking moist, hot air all the way up into Canada. Look where it's going, all the way up to the Hudson Bay, way up over the Great Lakes here. So warm, moist air coming out of the Gulf, right up the middle of the country, up and over, and then out. All right. There's your flow set up for right now. And it's set up because of our thermal factors on the ocean floor. There are so many volcanoes that are going off on land, which is the surface of the earth above water. Well, it's very similar on the surface of the earth that's underwater. Just because it's underwater does not mean that the ocean floor is not the surface of the earth. It is. Okay, so you're having volcanic activity down there, and it's causing very, very intense heat plumes at the surface. So intense that it's actually controlling our weather patterns, we'll say. Okay. Just take a peek down here real quick. What's going on here? Uh-oh. We're getting another storm right here, but I'm going to have to watch this really close. This is where our deep quake region is by Fiji here, okay? There's a plate boundary right here that runs down. And if we get a crack in that plate boundary and magma and lava starts coming up through that crack, that boundary, you could see a standing storm like that happen right there. Hopefully that's not a standing storm, no, but I'm looking at these heat flow, or the flow structures here, and I'm seeing a setup I don't like. All right, meanwhile, let's get back to this. Over here, we have Java. Cold water coming back into the region, so it's relieving a lot of pressure. When cold water comes back, that's an indicator that it's relieving a lot of pressure, doing its job. This region out here that was starting to turn yellow has, subsided a little bit. So, and even look here, it's lightening up right along these islands. So, Sumatra and the volcano activity and earthquake activity in that region have lightened the load there. Up here, we're seeing an intensification off the tip of India here, which is inducing this vortex, this 180 southern fetch. Okay. And that's taking air out of the southern hemisphere and taking it up into the northern hemisphere. Meanwhile, there's all that down below. And then over here, so, okay. But our main concern is going to be this. Pretty soon, you're going to see, if this plume continues like this, the North Atlantic is going to be hotter than the down here, okay? And then you're going to see hurricane genesis going in the opposite direction, coming off the tip of America, going across and hitting Europe, hitting all that area, hitting back. All right. That's enough of that. Let's move on. What was the other one we were going to show? Oh, this one real quick. Just so you see, your standard surface temperatures are starting to gel with our temperature anomalies. Okay? Look at this. This region right here should be in the yellow. Everything from here up should be yellow, and then green, and then blue. Okay? You see how hot. Whoa. I didn't want to zoom in. See how hot this band is getting right in there? And you see the wind patterns. The conveyor belt wind pattern structure are vortexes conforming to this heat signature as well. Okay. You see how it's still yellow down here, down to the southern tip of Baja? Usually it'd be yellow all the way across to here, and green up here, and reds and stuff be down here. Not purple, way up here by Japan. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Okay, you see this heat signature right here that's causing flow to go up like that. That's inducing this one to rotate here. We have this southern fetches coming. We have these two coming together. They cause rotation when they slam in together. It's just going to be a mess right in that area, I think, for a while. Wow. Wow. I can't believe it. It's really... no, I'm going to take that down. Want that thing out of there. There we go. Now, let me do it like this and just let it sit there and play for a second. And you will be able to see the future here. Okay? You can look into the future now. You see this setup. That's the way it's going to stay unless we have another... Say there was a new plume that broke out down here and we grew a big red spot right here. Well, then that would change the trajectory of a lot of this. But for right now, the way this pattern's set up, this is just going to keep pumping storm after storm after storm after storm, probably at this region. I have a solution for all of that. But you guys wouldn't like it. Wow. Get ready. This whole area, see it's in yellow right there? You think that's going to hold out much longer? Especially when we got... Here. Let me put it right there. Watch this region right there. That cold water is just about done. There's a heat plume right here. And this is that little pod that was growing right there that I talked about. So that area right there, that yellow is about to disappear here pretty soon. And then it'll be on. I mean, the whole Atlantic from Newfoundland to Spain, all the way down to the equator will be one big hot mess. Meanwhile, out here, this little saving grace is actually sending stuff back across the Pacific. And everything that's coming at them like this does not have sand to disrupt any kind of typhoon genesis, okay? Which is basically hurricane genesis, same thing, they just call it typhoon. Yeah. Everybody hold on tight in that region. You know what? If you got family in that region, I would tell them to get out of there. These archipelago islands, okay? You're mature adults. You see what's been unfolding here, okay? I'll let you make a good, knowledgeable, educated decision of your own. Okay, I'm not here to try to scare everybody into doing this and scaring them into do that. You can make a mature decision on your own. I'm just showing you what I see. I see a big storm being produced by all this stuff. A big storm that's hitting China. China that's got issues already and then going to have a devastating issue while this continues, even once that, say the dam breaks and wipes out a lot, does a lot of devastation, this will continue. That's one region you probably want to get it out of there. I'd back away from the coastlines too, because any kind of underwater volcanic eruption, but right now we are lucky we have not had one at all. I mean, we had the Honga Tonga one, but I'm saying we're lucky that, a bigger underwater, like the big one right here, Tamumasi, like it's got its own little round structure right there. All right, like that thing, if it went off underwater, it could send a tsunami, all the way around the Pacific Rim. Any kind of earthquake activity can cause that. So coastlines are getting very dangerous place to live. Now, get this. Say there is an event and it does wipe out the coastlines and it goes very deep into the interior and causes just, well, makes life so miserable that it's not worth going on. Maybe you want to be on a coastline so you could be there when it hits. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to be at ground zero. They won't be around after the devastation, chaos, mayhem, the ugliness, right? So some of you rush to the coastline. Let's go surfing, baby. Other people that are scared, you might want to back away from the coastline. Okay? Now, there was that. Now, back over to Vinci Sky here real quick, because... Okay, it just messed up Taiwan. It did a number, went over it, back over it again. So, I think China is going to find out that Taiwan isn't very salvageable. They want to come over and invade Taiwan. What are you going to get? A big old pile of wet sand? Meanwhile, they're going to have to focus their resources on rescuing their own country. A military move by them right now would be really dumb. I mean, that'd be the end of them. So they should really kind of focus on what they're going to start doing to survive instead of joining forces with Russia or Iran and pulling shenanigans. Here, I'll play shenanigans, track where that's going. Okay? You think you're going to come around messing with this country and doing what you want with America. And this is only the first one. Okay, that's going to be devastating. Pray for the people. Their leaders are the issue. Their history's bad too. Everybody's got a rough one. All right, let's get into our earthquake report right now. And I guess we're getting decent coloration here. All right. Deep quake region, but this isn't a deep quake. It's a 4.8 down at 141. So not on the plate boundary either. 4.9 down at 636. What do we do with 4.9s at this place? Yeah, for a reason too. So we got a 5, and it's way down there, 636. So we've seen an increase in magnitude at depth. We're used to seeing mid-range 4.5, right? This is a step up. This is a 5, and it's way down there. Okay, so we could see a higher magnitude quake at the surface in the future here. Nothing on the plate boundary. We have this island right here that emits SO2, so it's a relief valve. So it takes care, it reduces a lot of the pressure in this region as it enters this plate tectonic system. Up here, we don't get many on this island, but we finally got one here. There's a 4.4 down at 48. Wow, what happened to my eye? All right, right here, plate boundaries converge right here. a 5.5 down at 147. So there's your increase in magnitude there too. And that's at 147. If it was at the surface, probably been like a 6. Now, here we are, the sun to strait in between Java and Sumatra right here. Krakatau is right here in the middle of this bay. It's currently erupting. Okay, this is the sun, the son of Krakatoa. And Krakatoa went off back in the 1500s, 1700s, and darkened the planet for a whole summer. Okay, that bad boy right there is one we got to be, mindful of, even though it doesn't make the headlines all the time. Meanwhile, right next to it here is our 5.3 at the surface at 10, relieving pressure in this area because pressure is built up and the volcanoes in this region aren't doing enough. 5.3. There's your increase in pressure, increase in magnitude that we saw here. Okay. Meanwhile, the beginning of this plate system right here, 4.6 down at 229. And finally, a quake here at our fulcrum point at Taiwan. 4.4. We need bigger magnitude here. I'm sorry, it sounds crazy, but I want to see 5.5, 5.7 on a regular basis. You need to relieve pressure. This is a fulcrum point. This is a relief valve. When the relief valve gets plugged up, the pressure builds up, and we're seeing this whole area turning all hot, okay, and pressure increasing in that area because the quaking is not enough. It's not relieving enough of the stress. Meanwhile, up here, 4.6 at 27. Let's go this way. Nothing out here for a while, but this fulcrum point has a 4.4 to depth of 10. What? Wow. Now, I would almost say this is a diverse quake because we don't see them in this region, but it's on a plate boundary. If it weren't on a plate boundary, 4.2 at the surface, yeah, if this was way down at a deep, that would be something different. This is 4.2 energy being relieved on a plate boundary. There's a fulcrum point right here, but it's not a fulcrum point. Yeah, that's an odd quake, but it's right near the plate boundary. It's at the surface. It's clearly a quake at the surface. Just a new site, new weak spot, path of least resistance. Okay, here we go again over here. 4.4 in Iran. See the boundary? See the plate boundary right there? That's almost an inside fulcrum point. You can see how this has been shaped like that for a while. Again, in Iran, 4.8. Watch out in Iran. They're doing shenanigans too. There might be a big quake coming to Iran. What was the depth on that one? I'd watch this plate boundary right here. This thing's starting to get some motion on it right through here. And this is the one that goes up into Turkey. I'd watch out up in Turkey. We had a big quake up there before that took out thousands of people, 10,000, 20,000, I think it was. We could possibly see a big quake in that region and in Iran. Just really quick over here. Fulcrum point quake, probably, yep, 5.8. There's your jump in magnitude again at a fulcrum point. So we had an increase in pressure down below that produced a jump in magnitude at depth that results in a jump in magnitude at the surface, right, which we saw. So pretty much textbook activity today. Gonna go again. Here we go at a fulcrum point, 4.3 down at 98. Up here we have a 5.0 at the surface. There's energy being scrubbed at the surface again. 4.2. This is down at 143. Is that Ooh, we have all kinds of little volcanic peaks right here, and a weak zone where the water and the shoreline meet. A little weak zone in between. That's 143. That's some volcanic feature here, kind of magma down below something in this region here, moving around, looking for a way to come back out of the region, to vent the pressure. What the heck? What is this? See this round brown right there? You see it? And it's right next to this. Yeah, there's some kind of volcanic feature right here. There's magma intrusion going on down at that depth underneath this complex. Whatever this brown patch thing. Oh, it looks like an old lava flow from ancient times. Interesting spot. Spot they'll have to watch for a little while too. Magnitude check here, 2.6, 3.1. Still a little high for that region. Okay, let's get into America. Oh, magnitude, thank you, please. Let's dive on in. First up here, little micro quaking going on at all the volcanic islands. Indication that we had pressure buildup down below. Okay, we saw that on the Schumann too. Besides the big spike, we saw other pressure releases. 2.8 magnitude there. I want to see what we get up at the fulcrum here. 3.3 down at 126. If these fulcrum points, all right, what I'm talking about, you know what we're talking about. If you took a glass, say like an empty glass that you use for drinking water, and you cracked the glass, it's still all together. The pieces are all still together, but it's spider webbed and it's cracked, okay? Where two cracks cross each other, there's a little intersection that would be a fulcrum point, and that's where the piece wants to fall out first. It wants to come out at that angled point, at a fulcrum point. So that's why we're kind of checking these. This magnitude 3.3 up here. Ooh, what we got here? I want that one. 2.1. And there's multiple fulcrums here. There's an inside one right here in the water, okay? You see the shoreline, or the shelf. The shoreline itself is another fulcrum structure. We're just talking about the structure, the shape itself. The bay right here is one. You can see another fulcrum up here going down. In another bigger dimension, there's another one right there, even another one right there. Okay, so there's layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see what I'm saying? Each band has its own little weak spots, areas that like to transfer energy the best. And right there is your 3.3. Give you an idea what kind of energy potential could be along this plate boundary. Okay, it doesn't necessarily travel down it, but it puts pressure on that plate, right? At that kind of magnitude. The magnitude, like an indication. the pressure pushing on each other, kind of. Little microquaking going on up here in the Puget Sound. That's good. Relieving energy. We got this right here. Where's that? Kaiser, Oregon. Wow. Nothing out by our volcanic site today out there, but pressure comes on down, comes to the fulcrum point, and wants to break right there. If it doesn't, it pushes into the new fault system. It wants to go in a straight line, but this curves. Energy wants to go straight, so it drives inland, and bingo, we have a 2.3. Okay, so we had 3.3 up above in Alaska, 2.3 came in there. 2 there. Microquaking here, not necessarily microquaking because there's a 2.2. Some of these are a tad bit bigger tonight. That's good. It's relieving energy. As we get in here inside the North Bay right there, 2.2 under Bayview, Montalvan, California. Again, right here at this spot. Ooh. Out here, this is on the other plate. This is the Pacific plate. See, plate boundary runs through there. It's not much. Right off of Dillon Beach. That's where my kids like to go. 2.2 there. Let me take a peek around. Still a little bit up there. All in all, pretty quiet here in America. We do have these little events going on out here in Texas. We did see a magnitude 5 out here the other day, but it's lowered now. Mid-range 2 is the highest right there. Man-made perforations in the crust. We all understand what happens there. Bingo was his name-o. All right, I think that was it. Yeah. Check that one real quick. Oh, yeah, that was that one. All right, so there's your earthquake report. Let me pull down some of these instruments and get a volcano report pulled up for you guys. Meanwhile, take a minute to go to the bathroom, take a deep breath, whatever, while I get that set up. I'm going to take a second here. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Big round of pressure came in. Sure, we saw what was it? 43,000 foot blast yesterday? I can't even remember. Ah, man. Yeah, whatever. 62 volcanoes. Pretty crazy. 34 and 28. Yeah. I told you 10 years ago we'd have 62 volcanoes. You would have said, Brian, you're crazy. And here we are. And yes, I'm still crazy. Crazy about you. All right, here we go. Bismani was the culprit yesterday, and here it is at 15,000. Okay. Ebu today, 7,000. White Island, approximately 1,000 meters. The plume appeared to contain a minor amount of ash, so they had a 1,000-meter blast there. Songay, 20,000. Sabancaya, 22. Nyamaragira. Let's get into the 25th, which was today and is now yesterday. Bismani, 16,000. There it is, 43. I had that blast day before yesterday now. 43,000. That's a lot of pressure to push the blast that high. And then today, you had 43 yesterday and now down to 16. So a reduction in pressure. Suwanosejima. Am I not seeing it? Flight level. Guess it's not there. Ibu, 7,000 feet. Luatobi, 10,000 feet. Samaru, 15. White Island. Kilauea is still having a lot of earthquake activity due for an eruption there. Fuego, nothing. Nevada del Ruiz, 20. Sangay, 19. And Sabakaya, 22. Do the weather report real quick. Load that up. Okay, a lot of added factors to our weather. When we have thermal production like that underwater, it causes water to evaporate, okay, which turns into steam, moisture in the air. The air content or the water content in the air is a lot higher percentage. So the air, much like a sponge, is holding more water. We have more particulates in which water likes to adhere to make a raindrop. Okay, so we have more particulates and more moisture producing heavier downpours, higher rainfall totals, okay, and severe weather as well. Yeah, let's just back out of that thing. Spiritual realms in there as a factor. I've seen man-made technology like fighting back. It looks like they're using weather tech, not to induce weather, but to stop stuff that's happening. That's what I've seen so far that I've witnessed. I can show you some of that too if you want. Meanwhile, nighttime, July 25th, morning of the 26th, noon, convection, nighttime. 27th, this is a day we're going to have a G1 magnetic storm, so any storm could have enhancement. Starting right here, the morning, noon, convection. Especially around convection, we could see some isolated pop-ups there. Nighttime, that could be enhanced as well. Going into the morning of the 28th, noon, convection, nighttime. This nighttime activity up here on the 28th, the activity came off the sun today. If Earth directed, any kind of component is Earth directed from today's solar activity will enhance any kind of activity on the 28th. That would be nighttime of the 28th. So that could see some enhancement or that possibly. All right, now as we get into the morning of the 29th, we don't know what's happening on the sun, so all of this is very subject to change. But we're going to go noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 30th, noon, convection, nighttime, 31st, noon, convection, nighttime, 1st. That's the morning of the 1st, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 2nd, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 3rd, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 4th, noon, convection, nighttime. But that's way out there. Morning of the 5th, noon, convection, nighttime. Okay. Even though this is going to change and not be, accurate, this is a good example of what I want to talk about just for a second, is the fact that our air is so hot down here in the lower 48 that for any kind of severe weather, it needs a cold air component. So our cooler air is up here in Canada, which has shifted severe weather activity further north. So your tornado alley type activity has moved further north. And as you can just watch how this flow kind of comes together, not necessarily the accuracy or the forecast. I want you to see how the weather is behaving here. Boom, 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 boom. See how that whole long streak, that big old QLCS, see this going kind of linear here? There's more QLCS type structure right there. That it used to be down in here. Now it's happening way up in there. So you people in Canada, fair warning, you guys are going to have some severe weather this summer. And it's because, effects like this. All right, now we're getting into the 7th there, but all this is going to be subject to change. But I wanted to show you that was a good example right there of the new weather pattern to expect kind of up in Canada. All right, because you guys got the cooler air up there during the summertime. All right. Ow. Okay, we made it. Now let's do our spiritual report here. I haven't even taken a deep breath yet today. What a day, what a day, what a day, what a day, what a day. All right, let's get her done here. Get some things started here. Basic stuff. What was the one that you wanted? Oh yeah. Just real quick. Open up another one of my channel here, please, Lord. Thank you. I want to pull up something here real quick. Okay, so wake up call. The first video I made doing this subject because, well, I was commanded to warn everybody. And let me just pull this up real quick here. Sorry about there.
Look what else shows up in this time frame. These two objects up here look very similar to something we've seen before. Then as this object emerges from the backside of the sun, on this side over here, it causes a second flare. Here it comes. Boom. Here's our object right here. And as it starts to move away, you'll see it cause a third flare. Boom. Here's our object right here. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. And this backwards. You can see it goes backwards. There's the second flare. Back behind the sun, comes back out.
All right, there we go. I just wanted to show you.
There's the first flare.
This is the.
Boom. Here's our object right here.
This is the day my life changed. Right here. Oh, come on.
Third flare. Boom.
Right there. All right. There's your Nibiru hanging out. All right. Let me just get back to this and do the reading. I see people are dipping out pretty quick, so just get her done. All right. Again, you guys are still stressing. I know the events in the news got you all anxious and stuff, so we're just gonna keep working our best to take each day as it comes. And what happened to dang it, where did it go? No. All right. Even though all this stuff is, spinning out of control, things around the world going haywire, it's causing people's anxiety. Remember, when you watch the news, you're the one who's plugging in, so you can unplug from that and get some peace. So when you see the world's, things going down, you need to understand that you are safe. Okay, you're getting anxiety. You need to remember you right now are safe, aren't you? You are safe, you are secure, and you are complete in me. So stop your anxious striving and come to me with the things that concern you. Trust me enough to be open and honest as you talk about these matters that weigh you down. Give all your worries and cares to me, for I care about you and I am taking care of you. Then rest for a while in the shelter of my presence. Okay? You have a shelter in which to rest in, the shelter of my presence. I am here. It's the real thing. I'm a real person. It's really happening. You can take shelter in my presence. You are safe, secure, and complete in me. So try to control your anxiety. I know it's you who's plugging in. Remember, so if certain news items get you anxious, don't quit watching it. Ignore it. Go outside and live life. Enjoy these days while you can. Okay? And remember, you are safe, secure, and complete in me. If you believe me, I'm not going to go out and hurt you. You're safe. So, trust me enough to be open and honest. Some people feel like they're wandering away or they leave me out of their life. So when you wander away or leave me out of your life, you no longer feel complete. The restlessness you experience at such times is a gift from me. Restlessness is a gift. Yes. It reminds you to return to your first love. I want to be central in your thoughts and feelings, your plans, and your actions. This helps you live a meaningful, your life just becomes so full. It's meaningful. Your life just is so full of meaning, it actually becomes meaningful. This helps you live meaningfully according to my will. You're living with meaning now. You are indeed on a pathway to heaven, and I am your constant companion. You will encounter trouble as you journey with me, but take heart. I have overcome the world. You're going to overcome the world too. I'm showing you how to do it. And you're going to be like, oh, wait a second. I can overcome the world. You can. You can overcome the world. Just don't let it get to you. All right? I have overcome the world. So take heart. You will encounter trouble, but as you journey with me, take heart. I've overcome the world. We're going to show you how to do it too. In me, you are indeed safe, secure, and complete. You want to overcome the world? Overcome it with me. Trust me, these are real images. This is the real person, the real man. When you do that, magic happens in your life. Miracles. Okay. We got that out of the way. Because I can still feel anxiety out there. And it's okay. You guys are making progress. It's not perfection, it's progress rather than perfection. Okay, so keep one day at a time, just keep plugging away. Um, You're starting to see results, small little traces of it. So hold on to those little traces. Those are like your little mustard seeds. And then each one that gets answered, each prayer that gets answered, each little miracle, each treasure that you encounter will reinforce more and more. Okay, so right now we're just here chilling with me. Everybody take a nice deep breath. May I ask a religious question? Who was Thomas? I remember JC opened the womb to save his brother Thomas inside the tomb. I never told anyone JC has a brother. Yes, Thomas is JC's brother. And you know why he doubted him? Because he knew him so well. And he was like, no, come on, dude. I know you. You're not him. I grew up with you. I would know. I'm the close person to you. I'm your brother. I would know if you were him. Oh, cool. So it's the same thing I'm going through with my family. Okay, my closest family is just like, no, Brian, come on, no. Mm-mm. I know you. I grew up with you. You're not him. Yep. Mm-hmm. Same thing. I'm running parallel to the same story as last time, too. It's crazy. So, what I want you guys to understand is give all your worries and cares to me. I know exactly what to do with them. All right. Quit future tripping, quit past tripping. Oh, and then quit comparing your circumstances with other people's. I heard it all day. Oh, well, they got this and they got that, and I didn't get that. They didn't. What? Quit worrying about what other people have and have not, their possessions and their worldly, uh, well, possessions. Their idols. Don't worry about them. Don't be jealous of other people's stuff. What you got is pretty good. What you got here is better than a Lamborghini. Is better than a mansion. It's worth more than gold. So you are kind of safe. Okay. Now, we also need to rest. A lot of stuff going on. It's important that we take a moment to rest, get some peace too. Brian, I feel when others do black magic on you. Yeah, of course you can feel when others do black magic on you. Turn around and smile at it and go, I still love you anyway. And it ruins everything they did. Tell them, I forgive you. You know not what you do. And it totally destroys any kind of spell that they were trying to do. They'll laugh at it because their lack of knowledge. Well, yeah, reverse and return to sender, blow him a kiss. Yeah, mwah. Bless you, sir. Thank you for that that wonderful curse or whatever. Just laugh at it. Now we're relaxing here. We're here for a minute of rest. Okay, so as you see that face, those images right there, that's me in the clouds. That's my face with a crown over it, showing up in the clouds on Easter. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. That should make you feel really good right there. You're looking at a miracle right there. You understand that, right? That's why it looks weird. This is the real clouds. Hey, that's what they look like, and there we go. I did that one, I rotated it so you don't have to angle your head. But there's that. When you look at that, you are safe. When you look at that, you are secure. When you look at that, you are complete in me. So stop anxious striving. Come to me and rest in my presence. I am the Prince of Peace. You need my peace continually just as you need me at all times. So when things are going smoothly in your life, you tend to forget how dependent on me you really are. But later, when you encounter bumps in the road, you become anxious and upset. And eventually you return to me and seek my peace. And I gladly give you this glorious gift, though it's hard for you to receive it until you calm down. So take a few deep breaths, calm down, and receive it. Receive this glorious gift. It is. I keep trying to give everybody this gift, and they're like, I don't need it. No gift. I'm not even going to look at that. That's stupid. Uh, no, it's not stupid. It's a glorious gift that's why it's so hard to receive. It's hard to receive until you calm down. And how much better is it to stay close to me at all times? For some of you who have given this some work and you know who I am and you are seeing the miracles happen in your life, imagine if you stopped for a day. You're already well advanced in your salvage work. You're having success on a daily basis. Imagine if you stopped that practice right now and went back to going headfirst into the news. Doesn't that seem kind of crazy idea now? Now that we're at this stage looking back, why would you want to throw all this valuable knowledge away? See what I'm saying? So that's why you can rest in my presence, because I am indeed the Prince of Peace. Okay? When things are going smoothly, you forget me, but when you encounter bumps, you become anxious, and eventually you return to seek my peace. You don't like feeling anxious. You want to feel peaceful again. How are you going to do that? That's the only way. Other peace is fleeting. Okay, this is real rest, real peace. Okay, and I give it as a gift. It's just hard to receive. Now, remember that I, your Prince of Peace, am royalty, and all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Not to Kamala Harris, not to Donald Trump, not to Vladimir Putin or any of these other world leaders. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. So, when you're experiencing hard times in your life, come to me and tell me your troubles. But remember who I am. Don't shake your fist at me or demand that I do things your way. Instead, pray these encouraging words. I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hands. When you put that kind of trust, you will have that peace. Your anxiety, when you have anxiety, you'll know how to deal with it. It doesn't take it away permanently forever or all the time. You're going to encounter anxiety again, but now you know how to deal with it. You come to me and rest in my presence. Know that I am the Prince of Peace. You are safe, secure, and you are complete in me. So all you got to do now is just keep walking to the finish line. Okay? We already did all that stuff. I guess we can do one last little sliver off of that. Oh, good. welcome to sleep. Also, one last little thing that'll help you with your anxiety is you need to give up the illusion of being in control of your life. Now, when things are going smoothly, it's easy to feel as if you're in charge, but the more you perceive yourself as your own master and the more comfortable you become in that role, the harder you will fall or fail. Okay. So, you it's important that you understand that you're not in control of your life. Okay. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That's the things that I'm not in control of, right? There's things you can't change, and there's things you can change, right? You can't change other people, but you can change yourself. So therein lies your answer. If you can't change something, change yourself. Aha. So the more you perceive yourself as your own master, the more comfortable you fit that role, and then you don't make the best decisions. And as a master, you'll make the wrong decision and fall. All right. I want you to enjoy times of smooth sailing and be thankful for them, but don't become addicted to this sense of mastery over your life, and don't consider it the norm. Storms will come. All right. That's why I was saying, even though we've gotten the art down of salvaging your day, it's still, there's going to be storms will come. You will still have anxieties. At least you'll know how to deal with them. So, storms will come and uncertainties will loom on the horizon, like they always do. Now, if you cling to control and feel entitled to having things going your way, you're likely to sink when the difficulties come. Okay? If you're spoiled and you're used to things going your way, the moment difficulties come, you're going to fall, you're going to crash, right? But not you. I am training you to trust in me at all times. I am your refuge, okay? That that I am your rock. I am your foundation from which you can build on now. All right? I want you to enjoy both the smooth sailing, and then I also want you to expect storms, expect uncertainties, don't cling to control. If you cling to control and feel entitled, you're likely to sink. Okay? Just trust in me. I am your refuge. I use adversity to set you free from the illusion of being in control. You're delusional. You think you're in control. No, 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 no. I'm in control. I'm training you to trust me. Okay? When your circumstances and your future are full of uncertainties, like it was today, look to me. Find your security in knowing me. Knowing me now. You have a relationship with me. It's not a religion. It's about knowing me and knowing that I'm here. That's where you get your safety, your security from. You find your security in knowing me, the master who is sovereign over the storms of your life, over everything. Everything. Find security in knowing me. That's what we're doing here. I know you. You don't know much about me. And what the scriptures have for you is not the full picture. There's more of me that you need to understand. And you're getting to know me on a personal level. See my face, and here, look, we'll do this right now. Where's that one thing I had from the lamp? gonna turn the camera around and show you my ugly mug reading to you guys.
Check engine light, the idiot light, for a reason. Because you're an idiot if you listen to us. I am a professional autumn.
Yeah.
Might tell us.
There we go. Pull that up. There's my face right there, hanging out next to the moon. All right. And when I'm reading some of my notes and stuff, I'm looking down. I got this book light that shines on my face here like this. So let's scoot back because the camera's a little closer. But hello. That's me. That's my face. I'm a real person. The Word made flesh, walking and dwelling amongst you. Should be careful who you entertain. You never know who you might bump into. I freak people out in my town, man. They're like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I have no idea. So, give up the illusion that you're in control. I'm training you to trust me. I use adversity to set you free from the illusion of being in control because you think you're in control. No, that's an illusion. I use adversity to set you free from that. Okay? That's what builds character is adversity. When you overcome adversity, now you actually have a skill. You don't claim, oh, I can do this and that. No, you actually have done it. You have experience. When your circumstances in your future are full of uncertainties, look to me. Find your security in knowing me, the master who is sovereign over the storms of your life. Oh, I got all that on. Oh, we did that part. Good. Yeah. Clinging to control. We all want to be in control of this and in control of that. And same here, actually I am in control, but in the spiritual realm. Here in this physical realm, it's a little different. I have to put up with people, right? So I can't like remote control people and make them move out of the way and stuff. So I have to deal with regular earthly life details like you. And every time I go through an experience during the day, I'm like, oh, that's going in the show. It's hot off the street. Everything that I'm telling you, I experienced today. This is how I overcame today. Maybe you guys should try doing something similar. When you overcame something that day, write it down. Oh, I did 2 salvages today. I started off in a bad mood, but then after praying a little bit and that one song kind of picked my spirits up, and then I had a good day until that one dude cut me off, and then I did my second salvage. So you had 2 in one day. It's good to kind of just keep track of your progress. It's good to know that, you're, well, to see your own kind of progress a little bit, you know that you're on the path and that you're making progress. What was the other one? I guess we can close with that. I got one more here. Praying is vital to your mental health. Okay, it's kind of talking to yourself a little bit. Consider it like that a little bit, because the Holy Spirit inside of you hears your communications with yourself. Right? You're communicating with me when you're talking to yourself. Did you know that? You're communicating with me when you talk to yourself, when you're praying. You're living in communication with me when you're doing that. So living in close communication with me can be a foretaste of heaven. It's a wonderful, but it requires a level of spiritual and mental concentration that's extremely challenging. Okay. Um, it's an endeavor that requires persistent effort and determination. So rather than detracting from what you're doing, your closeness to me will fill your activities with vibrant life. So, uh, there was boring time today. There was downtime. I had to take my son to the doctor, and he's waiting, doing the doctor. I have to wait in the waiting room, right? Well, I didn't wait in the waiting room. I went outside. I found some shade, took a walk, looked around, found some creatures, blah 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 blah. It was vibrant. It wasn't. It wasn't boring. It was. I know how to live vibrantly now. So, uh, things that are detracting from what you're doing, so like when you're out driving, you're not focusing on driving, you're on your phone, right? So you're detracting from driving. Okay, so you're detracting from what you're doing. Everybody is always trying to detract, take their mind off of something, and I'll put on some music, or I'll put on a show, or they're always detracting from what they're doing. But if you choose to, when you're detracting, to spend your time with me, your closeness to me during that detracting time will fill your activities with vibrant life. Now all of a sudden they become fun. You're not bored anymore. You're having fun because I'm there with you. Your activities are now vibrant with life. Same with your work. When you go to your job, all of a sudden you have a new bounce in your step at work, and people are like, yeah, what's wrong with you? And you're like, I kind of found this vibrant life in my activities. And activities can be work, relax, everything. Everything is so much more vibrant than you know, unless you're doing it with me, then you are having vibrant life in your activities. So when you get to that part, whatever you do it for me, with me, through me, in me, and even menial tasks can glow with the joy of my presence when you do them for me. When you go to work, you're going to work to collect a paycheck so you can pay your bills and get gas and get food and put food on the table, right? But if you go to work to do it for me and you're having fun at work, all of a sudden you're having fun at work. Well, work's not work if you're having fun. A man who does what he loves for a living never works a day in his life. So whatever you do, it could be brushing your teeth in the morning. Yeah, I like to brush them like this. Do it for me, with me, through me, and in me. And it'll make even your menial tasks glow with the joy of my presence when you do them for me. Ultimately, nothing in all creation will ever be able to separate you from me. When you're doing it with me, you're doing it for me, you're doing it through me, nothing in all creation will be able to separate you from me. So this delightful you and I adventure, this us getting to know each other here, this delightful you and I together adventure can continue. It's gonna continue. It's gonna continue throughout eternity. How about that? You're stuck with me throughout eternity. Pretty cool. I sure love you guys. I miss you guys. And I want you to remember, when you're getting your anxiety, you're the one plugging in. If it's the media that's giving it to you, unplug from the mainstream media. If it's some other show, some of the news cycles, it doesn't even need to be mainstream. It could be a story that was on Marfoogle that all of a sudden made you go, gulp. I don't like the sound of that. Well, unplug, take a minute. You could always click on any little video of mine, zoom it right to the end of the show where we do this stuff, and click on any one of them and take a minute to unwind. You could freeze frame it here and do some praying, whatever works for you. Okay. A long one. I sure love you guys. I miss you guys. I gotta go. I still not done. I got more battle going right now, so I have to get back to the front. Love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Can't you see my face? Can't you see this crown? Can't you tell that it happened on Easter? I am back. And I love you. And I miss you. And until tomorrow, I will be back. Bye. I'm already back. Can't you tell?